I do a 2-hour brand strategy session, and I can guarantee the last half an hour is when I'll get the little golden nuggets from them. Because it takes people that long to go, oh yeah, this is what we do, this is what we want to achieve, or we want to be here in 5 years, we want to be doing this in 3 years, oh, and we want to sell in 10.
Welcome back. This week we are talking, as you just saw, to Laura from Laura and Design. We've known Laura a few years now, and it was a blimmin' privilege talking to her when we spoke to her. And as you can hear, she's all about the kids, the family, and the adventures. And the key part of that for us was business on your terms. It's something we feel very strongly about. If you want to know more about Laura, do head down into the description. All of her links and the fab blog she wrote for us as a guest blog is in there for you to have a look at. And finally, welcome back. Please do like, comment and subscribe. It will mean a lot to us. And if you fancied sharing this video with some people in your small business world, we would love that a lot, and we would basically, I think you'd be my new favourite person today. Okay, without further ado, let's get going. Thank you. Right, Laura, thank you so much for joining us. Truly, truly appreciate it. But we have to start at the beginning with always. We have to start with, what are you trying to achieve? Because this is the podcast for regular people achieving remarkable things. So that's where we're going to start. What are you trying to achieve?
For me, it is comfortable lifestyle for my children and for my family. That is the whole goal for us. Ideally, would love to be a digital nomad, but obviously children in school kind of puts the kibosh on that for a little while, but we're going to do as much travelling as humanly possible. So working on my business actually helps us achieve that. So we'll be able to work and play at the same time is the plan for life.
I love it.
Have you always had it in your sights to be a digital nomad?
No.
It didn't exist, did it? When did it start about, actually? 15 years ago, do we reckon it was a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, probably. No, I never really wanted to travel. Never until I met my husband, who has travelled extensively, and we call him Phileas Fogg. There's not a film we can watch that he hasn't been to that scene or that place. But no, I never really wanted to travel, never even crossed my mind. Always wanted to be a graphic designer. So I went through art college, university, wanting to be a designer, graphic designer. There was never another job for me, but didn't realise that actually you could travel with it. I just presumed I'd be in an agency and stuck in an agency working away with all these amazing brands. But no, it was him. It was him and his travel bug. Petrified the first time we went backpacking around Australia.
You took the kids, didn't you? And
they
were very young.
3 and 5, 6. Yeah,
wow.
They were
Wow.
really young. And I was petrified. So I just thought, oh, what's going to happen? But, you know, you get used to it and you love it, and you live out of a backpack, and you got your phone, and nothing bad's going to happen because you can just keep rolling with it. So the fact that I can work and travel is just phenomenal.
Now, you said something in a few seconds ago about being stuck in an agency. Have you ever worked for any larger organisations?
Yeah, so I did the whole out of university with all my mates, travelled down to London to go and work, and ended up working for Terence Conran in London, which was phenomenal because I worked for Procter & Gamble. So I did all the big, Hugo Bosses and all the Max Factor launches and things like that, which was brilliant. But just London life just did not suit me. So back up to the Midlands a few years later, and then just worked for some agencies local and some marketing agencies up in Solihull. And yeah, just stayed doing that. But then obviously children came along, and it really puts your mind and your life into a different route. And it was like, hold on, this isn't the life for me. This isn't what I want for my family. So luckily hubby was on board, and I was able to take the jump to go freelance and to start building my business. So it's been a roller coaster, as entrepreneurship is.
No, I think I always feel the entrepreneurship roller coaster is massively. I was going to say, I don't want to, I don't like saying the wrong word, but I was going to say underestimate. I think unless you go through it, I don't think you can truly comprehend what the entrepreneur roller coaster is actually like. Can we? One of the bits that fascinates me is the switch from kind of employed to self-employed. Whether you're running your own business or solopreneur freelancer. Do you think that was 100% driven by being being a parent and the children, or do you think it would have happened anyway at some point because perhaps that was in you?
I'd always got a bit of a side hustle going whenever I worked for anyone else. You know what it's like. Somebody says, oh, can you just design something for me? Or I've got this coming up. Do you fancy doing, oh, I need a logo. I was always that go-to person with my friends and family. So I'd always got a side hustle going. I'd always got extra work on. So I was hoping at some point I'd make the jump. But having the children, maternity leave, being at home and to be honest, childcare was just going to be a nightmare for us. So that really pushed us, how expensive childcare was, how the fact that I wasn't going to be able to be there for pickup, that wasn't the lifestyle I wanted. So I didn't realise how many hats you have to wear to be an entrepreneur. I was really naive in that and didn't realise that actually you needed to know a hell of a lot more about sales. You need to know about marketing a lot more. You need to know about bookkeeping. You need to be your own IT expert.
Absolutely.
All things like that you used to pick. I used to pick up the phone and just call someone and say, can you sort that? Or can you get that invoice?
Oh, those are the days. Those are the days. Send an email and something may happen, hopefully, and it would be fixed. But now it's our problem, isn't it? It's always our problem.
Oh, yeah. The last book sits with you, and so does the first one. And it's quite a learning curve.
Yeah.
I can't say I've got it right all the time. And even now, you still have to juggle a lot and learn a lot. So, but it's great that, the internet is here, that, there's nothing you can't Google. I say to my husband, I've built my business out of Google because everything is just Googled. And you learn as you go and you grow as you go and you meet other entrepreneurs like you guys that help and teach and you grow each time. So, yeah, and it's learning that value that actually you're worth a bit more each time you're learning these lessons. So
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because, marketing and budgeting and putting a cost across is really difficult because designers can go from Fiverr, which is £5 for a logo, to like thousands, £10,000 for a logo. And it's finding that price that you're happy with is quite difficult.
Have you seen that meme that it's like the Fiverr designed logo, the cheap logo, the full price logo, and it's like a child's drawing through to half a child's drawing to like a beautiful horse or something like that? Do you subscribe to that? I mean, I'm curious now because I think some of the quality coming out of Fiverr is actually okay. We know peers in this business world who started on Fiverr. So by definition, we like the experts in the kind of small business world around us, but there must be some quality on Fiverr. So I'm not really picking on the meme. I'm just curious. I guess this is actually more a question about pricing, if I'm honest, Laura. It's nothing to do with that.
But everyone DIYs everything to start with because you've got to. You've got no budget. You've got no choice in it, have you, as an entrepreneur? Everything has got to be DIY to start with. And it's then, where do you start leveling up? Like I say to a lot of my clients, branding, it's stepping stones. You can't go and totally throw a new brand or have a completely polished business to start with. It's all stepping stones. You improve, you make a mistake, you learn from it, you move on to the next stone, and you keep going with stepping stones. And I think that's the entrepreneurship life. And you need to realise that everyone makes mistakes. And as soon as you're ready to fail, you'll move forward quicker.
Yeah.
As soon as you're ready to fail, mark that, Emily, as a short.
It's a short right there. Yeah. So, Laura, when you eventually did go self-employed, did you go straight into vows design, into the wedding industry?
Yes. Yeah, straight in.
What made you go for that particular industry?
Everyone I knew was getting married. And I love a wedding. I've always loved a wedding. Even now I work with a lot of wedding entrepreneurs because I just love the industry. I just think it's such a happy industry. And there's really no one that's miserable in it because everyone loves what they do. Weddings are happy days.
Laura, I'm going to have to stop you. We spent a decade in the wedding and not everyone's happy. There's a very small percentage.
I just think everyone is lovely. And
actually, it is nice.
Yeah, it's just nice things, isn't it? So, yeah, being that way inclined and loving a wedding, that it was instant for me to be able to fall into that industry and stuff. And yeah, knew a lot of people that I could work with. So, yeah, it was great. It was really good fun. But obviously, branding always called for me. I'd always been a brander in a lot of the industry that I've worked in. So branding has always been there for me. And I actually got told by a boss probably about 15 years ago, you need to go into brand design. You forget everything else. And I ignored her. And I'm really bad that I ignored her. But I wish I hadn't, because now I get to combine like two passions. I work with a lot of wedding industry people, so that's, you know, ticked and done. But also I get to do branding, which I get to work with loads of really cool industries, entrepreneurs, small businesses. And it's a lot of fun because you get to help people reach their goals.
We like that. We're fans of that.
You love that bit of my business. And hearing their goals. Like I've had a client this week and I was just like, oh, that's their goal. Oh, they want to hit this. And it's like, my husband just laughs because he's just like, you're invested in them already, aren't you?
Yeah.
But that's the conversation we had.
Can I just interject very, very quickly?
Yeah, please do.
Is it possible to say, like, that's my goal without thinking of Shane Ward? Is that just me? That's my goal. Anyway, proper question. Go, Emily. That's my goal.
It was the bit of the conversation we had before we press record on this. It was the fact that both of us, with our individual businesses, that's what makes us tick, is we love the digital circus because of this vast variety of people within there. And it isn't until we have these kind of interviews that we get those little bits of little golden nuggets of like, oh wow, I never knew that about you. And then you expand on it. People are so scared to shout about what their goals are sometimes. Do you ever get that? It's like, actually, you know, we might have aspirations to be a digital nomad. We might have aspirations to be a 7-figure business. We might have aspirations to have multiple product line, whatever they are. But we're so British some of the time. You know, we want to come, no, I'm staying. But the conversations we have and like getting to the crux of those goals, that's really exciting. And I love hearing those bits.
I think Hollywood's got its part in all of this as well, insert kind of general media, that like running a business is getting investors and kind of, you know, turning over 7 figures by year 3 and things like that. When the reality is, like in the world we live in and, you know, with the digital circus community and outside in the wider yellow tuxedo world, is there's a lot of businesses who just want to make a bit of money to go on holiday, you know, go on holiday a bit more. And that's kind of your motivation, isn't it? It's like,
and that's fine. You don't have to hit
absolutely.
6 figures. That 6-figure thing, I think, is terrible because
would be nice,
that might not be your goal. That might, you know, and you're meant to feel bad that that's not your goal. Your goal could simply be, I want to pay to go to Disney with my kids.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's fine. But I do a 2-hour brand strategy session and I can guarantee the last half an hour is when I'll get the little golden nuggets from them. Because it takes people that long to go, oh yeah, this is what we do. This is what we want to achieve. Or we want to be here in 5 years. We want to be doing this in 3 years. Oh, and we want to sell in 10.
Yeah.
And it's always the last half an hour that I find out the truth of what actually they want to achieve or they want to hit, or, you know, we want to be promoting, we want to be at the next movie premiere, we want to be the guys that are planning that, or, you know, and it's just like, why are we ashamed to admit that we're not where we want to be?
Yeah. Also, sometimes the goal that we think we have isn't necessarily what we want in the first place. And we know a amazing brand photographer who her goal was to get to 6 figures, and she hit 6 figures in the space of 12 months. She vastly changed her offering. She was doing a lot more coaching as well as brand photography and every wedding under the sun. And she was busy and she got to 6 figures and she went, I don't want to be at 6 figures.
Well,
it's far too difficult, actually, on that particular model.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very nice, but actually we think like VAT thresholds and we have different financial issues to deal with. And actually the amount of time invested to get her to that 6-figure salary meant actually the lifestyle balance was completely off kill. And then, you know, she then had realised that she wasn't seeing her friends, her family, spending time sleeping. And we all know in this room that we like to sleep.
Whoa, not me.
And it's actually what is the lifestyle goal, I suppose, you're trying to achieve. And that could be the whole exit strategy to the business, or it could be I want to be on a train to Italy, or whatever that is. that's more exciting because you can work out that path of how you achieve that, not necessarily putting a figure on it to be, that's my success. It doesn't always have to be a financial figure.
Actually, that's one of the things we know and love about you, Laura, and it was a conversation with you that got us kind of going away for the summer holidays, is that your business, the entirety of your business is built up to you taking the school holidays off to go away, isn't it? Like, and is that driver, and this is a stupid question, but is that driver just adventure? You know, when did you realize like that it's not about work, it is about the adventure, and actually I'm going to build? And how are your clients? People may be wondering, how are your clients knowing that actually for 6 weeks you're going to disappear and be on minimal kind of interaction?
To be honest, they're really open with it. I'm honest with it. It's on social media. I'm always open about the fact that I will not be here for the 6 weeks holidays, end of, you know. Someone said, what is that saying? You only have your children for like 17 summers. And I'm like, I'm not wasting one of them. I am here for it, you know, and I'm going to live and spend time with them and make memories with them, because soon they'll be gone and, you know, off on their own journeys. So I make sure they know as soon as they get in contact with me, and it might possibly touch that time that I'm away, that I'm honest with them straight away. So I build it into my time frame with them. I try and get like a break, so finish a project before the 6 weeks, but it has happened before where I've delivered half the identity and maybe then delivered like the consumables or the packaging design after the 6 weeks. So I'm open to, you know, splitting a project if that's what they want. But most of them get it. You know, most of them say, well, if I could do it, I'd do it. And it's figuring out what actually do you want from your life? You know, we're here, yes, we work, but does that work to live or live to work? And figuring out, you know, what are you actually going to be happy with when you look back? Are you going to think, I wish I worked less and spent time with my kids more? Or are you going to think, actually, I spent a load of time with my kids, now's the time that I'm going to ramp my business up?
Absolutely.
Because you can be an entrepreneur for the rest of your life, but like I say, the kids aren't going to want to go away. And
one of our non-negotiables was when we started business. So we've been together in business for 11 years now. 6 of those years have been on the school run. Alan has been present, and myself have been present on the school run for every single school run. And we'd thought about it from the time that we were in our old employed life, was that actually that was a compromise sometimes. Alan would be in the car at 4 a.m. on the way to Staffordshire.
4 a.m? No.
Some of your earlier ones.
Not quite that.
You'd be out and out.
I wouldn't have taken that job.
But you wouldn't be on that journey, and that experience of being at the school plays, and the fact that, you know, we do have children who have illnesses in our household, so we are often on the phone to the school going, can you pick up Lydia Rose or X, Y, Z? And it's like, if we were employed...
we hadn't planned for that part.
We hadn't planned for that, but we have that flexibility to be there and to be present and to be able to do that and not rely on grandparents all the time to be the ones to step into that role. And that was really important for us. Same thing for you. And I love that. 17 summers, such a small number,
you know
isn't
what
it?
It was for me? I remember, I mean, absolutely everything Emily said, but I remember a friend having their child not long before our firstborn was due. And after 2 weeks kind of paternity leave, they went back to work and kind of saw them, you know, the Monday night after their first day back or whatever. And it was like, you're still trying to work out what to do with your kid. How have you gone back to work? And then it was just that's, you know, it might be right for people and it's right for loads of people. It wasn't right for me, you know. And then with the school run as well, I was like, I want to be it. I want to walk through the park. We love it and everything else.
Don't get me wrong. The other side of that is I worked Saturday and Sunday this weekend. I've worked Saturday and Sunday. I've worked like long days, both days, and I have to do the odd Sunday where I work. But husband's home, he takes the kids, so they're with a parent. And sometimes I have to work late at night. You know, I can be shutting the computer at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. But then I'm sure a lot of employed people do that as well.
Yeah.
But summer is non-negotiable. You know, we pack up shop and we go and have an adventure. So
tell us about what your newest adventure is going to be.
Yeah,
I'm researching Italy.
Nice.
Interrailing Italy, it just looks phenomenal. So Italy's on our hit list. We've got such a big list of places we want to go. Children love history, so anywhere that's historical is going to be a hit with them.
We loved Italy when we went, didn't we? We've been a couple of times together. Oh no,
Correct.
Once together. You've been a couple of times without me with the boys.
Have I been 4 times? I've got a feeling I've been 3 or 4 times.
It is one of those. We went pre-kids in Alan's Geek Squad Mini. It was a Mini though, so it was.
I worked for a company called Geek Squad, and I had a Mini.
And we drove to Lake Como from Dover, and then did Pisa and all around that, and it was just fab. And like it is the history around it. It's just stunning and a lovely culture, lovely food, lovely people, and you'll have an amazing time. Now, one of the other things I love about you, Laura, is because we do both have this love of travel amongst the three of us, and we both watched Race Across the World. I think what I really appreciate with that
Whoa. If we're talking about Race Across the World, what are we about to tell Laura?
So we were walking down, story time.
You have to, right, context, it's July, okay? We're recording this in July. You're listening to this probably mid-September, okay?
Whether
hopefully
you liked or loathed the last series of Race Across the World.
Liked? Who would have loathed it?
We loved it because it was Canada and it was
brilliant.
Beautiful. One of the teams, Claudia and Kevin, from Southampton, and we're from Southampton, and we're doing the school run. We're driving home the other day, and Alan goes, "That's Kevin." So we drove past Kevin, did a U-turn,
opened up the window.
Kevin!
Yeah, I shouted, "Kevin, good job, mate!" And he waved back, and I waved
had no idea why
him.
this random man in the yellow t-shirt was waving at him.
Sorry, it does it gets worse before it gets better. And then it was like, we should stop and take a selfie. I'm like, obviously not a celebrity, but it's like, it's Kevin off of Race Across the World, right? And then we had this big argument in the car. 2 of the kids were like, "No, Dad, that's so embarrassing." And Emily was like, "No, stop in the petrol." And our youngest, Joseph, who is the more kind of like
gregarious, that
would be do today. Lydia Rose used to be the more gregarious until Joseph came along, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And he's only 5, bless him. And but the reason I kept driving is I didn't want to upset the other 2, and there was no space in the petrol station, and there wasn't a lot of parking. But now absolutely gutted, we didn't get a selfie of Kevin from Race Across the World, who 99% will be going, "Who?" in a Scott Mills way, So.
But I love the idea of backpacking or getting an RV and going across Canada as well. That looked like an epic trip.
Yes, it does. Right, Laura, other questions then, as this is about you, not about us seeing Kevin in Botany. So you've got 17, 18 summers with the kids. You've got a business built up around going away at the summer holidays and the holidays, and you've got clients who are on board with that, which is just brilliant. What are you going to do after? What are you going to do after the 18 summers with the kids? Do you go all in on the business?
All in.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, going all in. I am, completely up for it. Just going and taking and gone. And to be honest, the kids are desperate to come with us. They're just like, "Are you not leaving us?" I'm like, "Yeah, we are." Yeah, we are. Yeah. Already, silly things like already going about the house. I'm like, right, we need to minimalize. I'm minimalized anyway, but we need to, make sure that, we can rent this out. It can be an Airbnb, it could be rented. And just already slightly putting plans in place that we can then just go.
I love the dedication and the organisation there.
I know, you're much better than us. We're like, we deal directly with what's in front of us, so it's like, but I love that. And in some respects, that's kind of that next step achievement, isn't it? I'm achieving this, then I'm going to achieve that. And, and is retirement a word in your head, or is like, what's the point,
What's the point? Why?
Yeah.
I love what I do. I love dealing with my clients. I love, styles change. It's always evolving, like branding, logos. It's always evolving. So why would I want to stop? Because that is just so much fun. And surely as I'm traveling, I'm going to get, creative influences from all over the world. Just keep going. I don't see the point in stopping.
Laura, we've asked this question 3 times and the same answers come out of every single mouth. It's like, no, what's the point? And I think that is what sets an entrepreneur apart from the rest of the pack as well. It's that you choose the life that you want. You've built a life that you want. You're passionate about the business you've created. You're passionate about what you're setting up in place. Why would you stop that? Because society tells you at 65, 66, or by the time we retire, 79 probably. But, why would you stop doing what you love? Absolutely. And I love that as a, method. Why? I love it. Let's go all in. Brilliant.
But that does not show how amazing entrepreneurship is that people, you find what you love, you do it, and why stop it? Why give it up. You know, I might probably slow down.
A few more holidays.
A few more, well, constantly holiday.
Constantly holiday, yeah.
But then, you know, I love watching these van life people that are like, you know, got no ties and they're already off doing it. And it's like, wow, you know.
I mean, you know this, but I always think so. We got to a position where we were able to be digital nomads. We'd had our bell tent company beforehand for nearly a decade. That had kind of closed, and we'd moved stuff aside, and we were doing Yellow Tuxedo. And then we chatted to you. It was 2 Octobers ago, I believe. And you basically said, oh, you're digital nomads now. You can go and work anywhere, which I was alluding to a minute ago. And we were like, yeah, that's fantastic. And then remembered our kids go to school, you know, and really, I mean, we love the kids. Half of our business reasoning is about the kids, but actually school is a real pants thing. And I was looking at Airbnbs. I think it was for the month of February in Croatia for a ridiculously cheap price, you know. And I'm like, Emily, we could go to no, we can't go to Croatia for the month of February. The kids need to go to school every day.
They can when they're 18, though.
Yes, that's true.
But you do consider homeschooling?
We do often.
All right, Laura, don't open that can of worms.
We often consider homeschooling, and for various reasons. But ultimately, we want to give the kids the lifestyle. We want to have a whole rounded experience with them, and to be able to deliver the adventures and the excitement stuff as well as the nurturing and the love. We need to make a wage, and I think at some point you drop the ball, don't you? And whether you believe in the traditional education system or not, and that's a whole different podcast, it could be for hours really. But you know, there are other skills that we can give them, but they do need to know how to write and to read and to do their maths.
Yeah, but they would learn that with us. I think there are some things I'm okay with from school, in amongst the vast majority I'm not, but kind of, yeah.
I mean, I was laughing. We had a school meeting yesterday actually, and Lydia Rose's teacher was talking about long multiplication. I was like, I don't know the last time, and I'm sure there are jobs out there, and we've proven it, that there are people who are a bit more scientific than us. But when did I last use long multiplication?
I did smile when the teacher was saying she's not quite got her head around that, and I'm like, you're talking to the wrong parents.
I pick up my iPhone and I press the calculator button and I hope that I get the result. That's what I do. So yeah, I don't always agree with it, but again, like I said, that's a whole different podcast for another day.
We've just had a similar conversation about learning French. Why do I need to learn French when Google Translate does it for me? And he says, and Mom, when I'm older, you'll just have a mic and it will say it for you. And so you just say it and it will just say it for you. So why do I need to know French?
It's true, isn't it?
Kids speak Spence.
However, like with all the travelling you're doing, surely French would be quite handy.
My husband always says Portuguese.
Well, Spanish, Portuguese, I think that is. But it was funny, going back to Italy, the first time we went to Italy, like we'd driven kind of through France and places like that, because Emily speaks a little bit of French, I speak a little bit of Spanish just from our youth. And then we arrived in Italy and realised, other than ciao, we didn't know a single word. And it was like, you have this kind of part of the main part of Europe, us as Brits are brought up with, France, Spain, Italy, Germany and Holland, the Netherlands. And then all of a sudden we got this like, we don't know a single word other than ciao. And so, yeah.
Bella.
Well, we learned ciao Bella. So, yeah.
Right, Laura.
Final question. So thank you and all that jazz. But the final question is, so if you can go back to your younger self and you could visit them, and whether this be good, bad, indifferent, what would you say to them? Give an arm around the shoulder for a walk in the car park. What would you say to your younger self?
Walk in the car park?
Oh, in my retail days, they got called car park chats. Is when you wanted an off-the-record chat.
Car park chat, that's brilliant.
Sorry. Yeah.
Was it not a smoking hut chat? Isn't it everyone used to go to the smoking hut?
No, because there were other people in the smoking hut. You went in the car park so no one else could overhear what you were saying, apparently.
Anyhow.
Anyway,
if I could say anything, right, do it scared. I have put off so many things because, as you know, I do not like, I'm a bit of introvert and hated anything to do with it. And I needed to have got over that a lot quicker and a lot sooner, because my business would have got better quicker if I'd just done it anyway and done it scared. Because I'm trying to teach that into my children now, because I feel that they need to know that actually being frightened isn't a bad thing. Being scared to put yourself out there isn't a bad thing. And so, yeah, you've got to just go for it. And who cares if you mess up? You'll learn and you'll move on. So yeah, I used to. So even now, I still worry about what my college and university friends think. Just not for me. What my college and university friends think. Like, I'm 44 years of age. Why the heck am I worried about what my university friends think of me? I don't even stay in touch with most of them. But you know, I can't put a design up because the other designers that I know are going to think I'm terrible, and that's a terrible design. Well, who cares?
Who cares?
You know, and what if I'm still earning money? I've still got a business going. Does it matter?
Absolutely.
There's so much in what you've just said, Laura. Like so much. I mean, I don't think we want to unpick it because that's not what this is about. But there is so much in what you've just said. It's unbelievable. So,
but so if I could go back, you know, 20 years, even 10 years, I would just say, come on, get on with it. You just put it out there and just do it, because you know, kind of feel like you miss the boat sometimes because I've stood back too much, too long.
Laura, you're so wise.
So wise.
So wise.
And for us 1978 kids are the best, aren't we? So
78, I know.
How old does that sound, right? and on that 70s reference bombshell, a huge thank you, Laura.
Thank you very much, Laura.
You're very welcome. Thank you to you guys, because you guys have really pushed me forward. You've really helped me. No, but you have. You really, and you know you have, because I keep telling you. But you have, like, everything, like the actual digital circus. I've made so many good friends through that group and that connection. Like, you know, I've been co-working with people, you know, from that group, which has been great. And yeah, just, you know, supporting each other, little messages from everybody, shouting, you know, how you doing? How's things going? You know, and yeah, it's just been such a great like community that you've created.
Cheers, Laura.
Thank you.
We love you, Laura.
Yeah,
thank you very much for talking to us, and we will see you all next time on the Digital Circus Live.
Yeah.